Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Toon 215. And right now, we're in the state of Pennsylvania. We're currently in the city of Philadelphia. Today, we're going to be doing a nighttime walking tour through a couple neighborhoods. We're starting at West Kensington right now. We're heading westbound on Susquehanna Avenue. We're going to be walking towards the Hartranft neighborhood, then making a right to hit the Fairhill neighborhood. And then we're gonna make another right and go towards Kensington, traditional Kensington. Right now we're in West Kensington, but West Kensington and traditional Kensington have two separate boundaries. So I'm just gonna make that clear. So we'll be hitting about 4 different neighborhoods tonight, taking a nice little light walk. It's about 11:15 p.m. We're about 45 minutes shy from 12 a.m. It's nighttime. I'm gonna take you guys on this little walkthrough. The weather's relatively nice. We're on 3rd and Susquehanna Avenue. Show you guys how dark it is. I'm not a big fan of doing nighttime walks because the quality isn't as sharp as it would be in the daytime. You guys can't really see much. But let's get this out the way. We got a starter, alternator, and a generator spot. They basically repair starters and they sell refurbished ones. That's been there for quite some time. I think I've gotten a refurbished starter from there once or twice. You could take your old starter, trade it in for a core charge, and boom, save some money and get a working starter. And then they'll repair your starter and sell it to somebody else. So these houses, they're pretty new. They were made through a grant from Norris Square Civic Association, which is not far from here. It's about 2 minutes behind us. Yeah, these houses were made brand new. I would say less than 10 years ago. Less than 10 years ago. They were selling for around 130 to 150 grand, give or take. And then if you were a first-time home buyer, let's go down this really dark, sketchy block. If you were a first-time home buyer, you would get, I think, like $40,000 or $50,000 in subsidy money, meaning you would qualify for a grant, and that grant, you can use that towards your home. So if the selling price was 130, 140 grand, after that $50,000 subsidy, it'll be like 90 something. Yeah, you can qualify for a couple grants here in PA. I don't know if it's like that in every single state, if you get like a first time home buyer's grant in every state, but I know here in Philly, they have that. And then you can go to, I believe, financial management classes, and you'll get like another $500, I wouldn't call it a stipend, but it's specifically for closing costs on your property. Yeah. So these are empty lots, guys. As you can see, it's so dark. You could barely see much. Right now we're on Lithgow Street. On my right-hand side, we have a schoolyard and a baseball field. This is actually the elementary school that I went to when I was a youngster. It's called John Welsh Elementary School. As of most recently, shout out to the homie Rosati. He's a content creator. I just shared a video on my community feed this past week. I was actually featured in it. I had a little small cameo in it. He interviewed me and asked me a few questions. Well, in that video, you'll see him and several of his other buddies ride their pedal bikes through here, and they find a 9mm bullet right there. They find a bullet right over there on the ground next to the school. I remember this building right here, this Joss or I guess it's, I don't know, Joss is supposed to be short for something else. Jose Miller and Son Fuel, Oil, and Burner Service Spot. I believe that was a apartment and or home at one point, and it burned. It burned, and there was a family that lost their life in there. And I remember at the time when I went to school, I think that student went to the same school too. Yeah, it was a really sad situation. I was probably like in 3rd or 4th grade. We're passing Lawrence. Right now we're on Lawrence and Dolphin. So we're still in West Kensington based on the boundaries. They stop right here at 5th Street. Once you cross over 5th Street, you'll be in the Hartranft neighborhood. Got a couple old heads sitting across the street under the tree drinking. Can't even see them though. Check out this block right here. So it looks like you had a few young folks. They just came out of the house on our left. They appeared to be of Asian descent. And I guess they were visiting their friend or family member. They just said, see ya, peace out. All right, so now we're on 5th Street. This is 5th Street, that's southbound. This is northbound. There's some kids playing with a ball over there. So right now we're in Hartranft. Not far from us is Hartranft Elementary School. Now make note, if you're new to the channel, I've documented these neighborhoods dozens and dozens of times via driving tour and walking. This is just my updated one for 2022. Now robberies, shootings, all sorts of stuff takes place in the neighborhoods that I'm walking through tonight. In all 4 neighborhoods. All 4 neighborhoods, it can go down at any time. I don't know how it is in other cities, but in Philadelphia, during this type of weather, it's kind of like a warm weather, but it still has a little dampness to it. It's not really hot, but it's still a little mugginess. There'd be big roaches on the ground, like little colonies of big old roaches. Yeah, like the big water bugs. Yup, hundreds of them. On certain blocks, there'd be more than others. So if you don't watch where you're walking, you're gonna hear like pop, pop. You're gonna be stepping on them. Yep, speaking of roaches. Look at, that's a roach. Move, roach. Bro, you're a gangster, you don't wanna move. The roach ain't wanna move, that's crazy, right? Oh, there's another one right here. Yeah, them things big. So if you don't like roaches, you might not wanna be walking around at night. I don't like roaches either, but there's nothing I can do right now, right? So we're still walking westbound. We're walking westbound on Dolphin. You're at the bus stop right here. 39 and the 47 bus stop. So we are approaching Germantown Avenue. We're gonna make a right-hand turn soon, before Germantown. Because if we cross Germantown, then we'll be in another neighborhood. After Germantown, it's the Glenwood neighborhood. We don't wanna hit Glenwood right now. So I'm gonna make a right. Cadwalder Street was behind us. We're on Marshall Street right now. Marshall Street. But as you can hear, super quiet out. A lot of roaches. I literally got to look down, pay attention. One time when I was a kid, Not a kid. I was probably like, I guess you could say I was a kid. I was like 16. Some people will beg to differ, but I think a 16-year-old could be counted as a kid. When I was like 16, I was sitting at the corner of my block. I had on flip-flops, like slides, with some socks. And I was sitting on the corner. I forgot what I was doing. I think I was waiting for someone or something. And I was sitting on the corner, and little did I know, there was a roach crawling up my leg. One of them big ones. Yo, I freaked. I was like, oh, snap. Get off of me. Oh, there's a whole colony of roaches on my left. I'm not going to turn this into a roach safari, but yeah, it's bad out. Oh, man, a bunch of them. The craziest thing, too, that I had a couple of friends that were wild growing up. It was like 11, 12, 13. And rest in peace, Walt, because he was one of them. And also Nilo. Shout out to Nilo. They used to take hairspray with a lighter, and they would set the roaches on fire. Yeah, they would set the roaches on fire. Yeah, this time of night, you gotta be alert. You gotta be on your P's and Q's. I gotta pay attention for every vehicle that comes by. I smell the weed. They was smoking that. It smells strong. Yeah, but I had a couple buddies who, they used to use hairspray. They would take the hairspray, light up the lighter, and it'd be like a flamethrower, right? So as they was burning them, the next day you wake up and there'll be like 15, 20 burnt spots on the side of the cement with burnt roaches. Yep. It was crazy. They used to burn them alive. You see all these little popped roaches on the side of the sidewalk. Oh my gosh. I'm not a big fan of roaches. I'll be completely honest with y'all. I don't like house roaches. I don't like water bugs. I don't like no roaches. Look at empty lot over there. Still plenty of empty space in the area. Yeah, surprisingly, gentrification has not really came to the Hartranft neighborhood in full force. Same would apply for the Fairhill neighborhood. We got some music on my right-hand side, people outside chilling. I don't want to try to catch the soundbite, so I'm gonna talk over the soundbite. But you guys can hear from afar, you can hear the ambience. All right, we're approaching Cumberland. Right now we're on Cumberland and Marshall. All right, we just passed Cumberland. We got a little cat out here. What's up, kitty cat? Meow, meow, meow. What's up, kitty? You look clean, dude. So I got a story about this block. One time, I remember, you guys know what a tandem bike is? Well, if you don't know what a tandem bike is, I'm gonna tell you. A tandem bike is a two-seater bike. So I don't know if you ever remember the old school bikes. They were like a Schwinn bike with two seats that two people can ride them. Well, anyway, I had bought a brand new one. This is probably like 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. Me and my wife, we've been together for about we're about to make 11 years next month. But yeah, so I would say the first 3 or so years together, I'm the type of person that I try to find. All right, let's start from the beginning. I'm kind of ADHD. Like, I like to do things. I don't like to be bored. I don't like to sit in the house all day and be bored. So what I did was I bought a tandem bike, brand new in the box. And I remember the very first day we ever rode it, we got stuck in the craziest thunderstorm. It was like one of them summer thunderstorms right here on my left-hand side. Which house did we come to for cover? I think it was either this white one on my left or this following one right here. Yeah, probably 2546 North Marshall. One of these that I just passed. We was riding and it just started, I'm talking about so bad. It wasn't even like a light drizzle. It was like thunder and everything. So mind you, it was a brand new bike. Like I literally just built it. And you know, water, metal equals rust. And I didn't want that to happen on a brand new bicycle. So we parked up and waited for the rain to stop. But yeah, it sucks. I ended up getting rid of that bike anyway. But we were soaked. My boxes was wet. Everything. Socks was wet. Sneakers was wet. Everything was wet. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, she didn't know how to ride a bicycle when I met her. So I taught her how to ride a bicycle on a 20-inch Harrow that I had before. She never rode a bike in her life. Met me in like, not hours, in like 3 blocks, I had her riding a bike. Yep. She was super loosey-goosey. She wasn't wholeheartedly secure with it. But literally, in like 3 blocks, I just pulled her, I gave her a little bump start, I told her the basics. Said, pedal, pedal, pedal. Oh, look, we're passing a little complex, apartment complex situation they got going on here. This is right before we hit Lehigh. So, I forgot to mention, we just passed Huntington. We're on Marshall and Huntington. Once you pass over Huntington, now we're in Fairhill. Yeah, the boundaries are a little bit funky. But I know right now, as we cross Lehigh, we're going to be entering Fairhill. One of the most notorious neighborhoods in Badlands. There's several neighborhoods that can be classified as Badlands, Philadelphia. But the main one that coined the name from an undercover narcotics officer back in the day is the Fairhill neighborhood, which is where we're at right now. You got the Free Library of Philadelphia right there. We're on Lehigh Avenue. They're doing some street work. So I'm gonna make a right. I'm just going to cross Lehigh Avenue. If you remember, you saw my daytime walk of Lehigh Avenue. I did it recently, covering some of the Puerto Rican hoods. Well, boom. This is where we walked through. I had showed y'all that library. That's Lehigh. They're doing street work, so surprisingly, Lehigh's pretty quiet right now. Look at those cops over there. Yeah, they scraped the whole street. Look at, check it out. Yeah, they scraped it. This is where Julio de Burgos was at, the old middle school I used to go to. All right, so we're gonna make a right down 7th Street. And I'm gonna take this probably like a block or two and then make a right. So right now we're in Fairhill. So this is where I used to actually wait outside for school. It might be hard to picture, but there was a school smack dab right in the middle of this. And our schoolyard was like probably from the street side to maybe, I don't know, 30 feet to my left. You know, there was like a schoolyard and everything. Yeah, but at this time of night, you're rolling the dice. Or in this case, I should say, I'm rolling the dice for y'all. This ain't the only nighttime walk I did though before. If y'all remember, y'all know. Did a couple other nighttime walks, walked to Kensington and walked to the Richard Island projects at night and all that. This is the old Edison. I believe they rehabilitated the building. And yes, rehabilitate is a real estate term. A lot of people try to correct me and they say, Toon, you don't rehabilitate a building, you rehabilitate a person. No, Google it. Google it. Rehabilitate house. And then watch what comes up. The definition is going to tell you is when you restore a home. I'm going to cross the street right here. So we're on 7th and Somerset. This was another school over here. This was, I believe, Fairhill. Fairhill Elementary School. I think they closed Fairhill down. It was crazy because they had Fairhill right next to Julio de Burgos. Julio de Burgos was a middle school. I went from 6th to 8th grade, or was it 5th? I think it went from 5th to 8th grade. No, 6th. I think it went from 6th to 8th grade. And then this school right here, Fairhill, which is back there. I don't know if you can see that big dark building. That was an elementary school. So I guess kids who went from K through 5th there, then transitioned to Julio de Burgos for 6th through 8th. This is an early child care development center, one of those places where you take your kids. Child care center. So as you can see, we're in a 2-story row home block. Some houses have porches, some houses don't have porches. Yeah, it's so quiet that you could hear the air conditioners on. So in the hood, since we don't got central, well, not everybody, some people probably are fortunate enough to have central air, but not everyone has central air. Well, in the hood, all you hear is everyone's air conditioners on. Everyone's air conditioner. See, as we walk by, we're hearing the air conditioner. All right, I'm gonna make this right on Cambria. So now we're on Cambria. Now we're headed eastbound. We're on Cambria and we're in Fairhill. It is about 11:40 p.m. That's why you don't really see nobody out. Most people start going in like around, like I would say 9, 10. Especially if they got like work. Some people got to work in the morning. Kids ain't really got school. Normally when kids get school, when kids have classes, then the kids go in early too. But in the summer, the kids stay out sometimes, so. Right now we're approaching 6th Street. We're on 6th and Cambria. Oh, I hear somebody playing music. I gotta try to get away from the music. Saying no to music. I'm about to cut through here because I'm trying to get away from that music. Let's make this left right here on 6th Street. It's crazy because even late night, they still bumping music. During the daytime, I gotta hear all types of music. Nighttime, you still hear music. So we're coming up on a block where I recall seeing CCTV footage. It was it on the news or was it on the Philadelphia Police Department YouTube channel? I think it might have been on the news. On the next block, I remember the story very roughly, very vaguely. I think it was 2 or 3 people involved and there was CCTV footage of a carpet that was rolled up being pushed outside of the window. I think it was on my left-hand side on the next block at the corner, near the corner store we're about to approach. And, oh, look at it, and another cat. What's up, kitty cat? Meow, 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 meow. Subscribe, little buddy. That's one thing you see a lot here in Philly, stray cats. Because cats, they're like dominant. Cats, they're rebellious. They want to go, you know, do their own thing. Now, if you go down south, when I went to Georgia, when I went to Mississippi, when I went to, I would say Alabama, maybe Arkansas, I think in Memphis, Tennessee, I saw a lot of stray dogs. Tons and tons and tons of stray dogs. I was surprised. But here in Philly, you see tons of stray cats. But anyway, on one of these houses coming up on my left, I think it was the first one next to that gate on my left. We're passing Indiana. We got the 500 block of Indiana Ave to my right, 600 block of Indiana Ave to my left. So that building right there used to be a corner store too. Right now it's one of those paralegal service businesses. But I think it was one of these. I think it was that one. I could be wrong. But the CCTV footage, I think because they got it from the corner store, it showed the people that were involved pushing a body. Well, you couldn't tell it was a body. I mean, anybody with common sense can see that it was a body. But, oh, look at this. This is Potter Thomas School. A lot of people went here, but I ain't never go here. A lot of people from the Philadelphia area that's in this hood, they actually went to Potter Thomas. But you got Cholo's Auto Repair. Been there for quite some time. Yeah, so they pushed a body outside the window, and it was wrapped up in a carpet, like one of those living room carpets, not the full one that gets stuck to the floor, but the ones you buy, you know, and you can roll and unroll. One of them, they wrapped her up in it, they tied it up, and they threw it out the window, and they tried to dispose of her body. But they got caught because they had it in the security footage. I think this was probably like, man, this when I learned about this story 8 years ago, maybe a little longer. Speaking of another CCTV footage situation, on the Philadelphia police YouTube, we're passing Mayfield. That's Mayfield. As you can see, it's a little tiny block. We're on 6th and Mayfield. On that Philadelphia police YouTube channel, there's a shooting right here on this corner, right next to this. This was a bar. I don't think it's a bar anymore. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's a bar anymore. But that building right there in the corner, somebody got shot right out here, and it was all caught on CCTV footage. You'd be surprised how many crimes are caught on, you know, CCTV footage. It's like, man, people just don't care no more. And the thing that don't make no sense is that nowadays you could wear a mask, like without anybody questioning you, and people are still doing crimes without masks. Like, I mean, I'm not advising them to wear masks, but I'm just saying, you would think they would take advantage because nobody's gonna look at you crazy, you know? Before 2019, if you walked around with a mask, people would look at you like you were up to no good. After 2019, if you weren't walking around with a mask, they looking at you like you was up to no good. You know what I mean? Like, put on your mask, where your mask at? Think about it, back in the day, think about this, 1999, 2000, 2001, if you walked into a bank with a mask, the security's gonna flip. Everybody in the bank's gonna tense up. Like, what is your reason for walking into a bank with a mask? Fast forward to 2020, everyone in the bank has a mask. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised that I know a handful of people across the nation did take advantage, and I've seen plenty of news reports where people robbed the bank and they had the mask. Good luck trying to find them. Good luck trying to find them, because you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. But yeah, it's the perfect opportunity for somebody up to suspicious activity to get away with it, because you can't identify anyone by the eyes, especially on a lot of these fuzzy cameras, a lot of these fuzzy CCTV videos. All right, so let's take this up probably another block or so, then make a right. We're passing 6th and Allegheny. Down there is eastbound. We're walking northbound. On my left is westbound. Behind us is southbound. Passing Javier and Family Tires for sale. It's like a little used tire spot. Oh, the ATM on my right. Yeah, we was talking about that the other day. Me and Omi, we was talking about how like a year or two ago, I remember like a year or two ago, all those ATMs was blown open. Now, you see a lot of the ones that was blown open got replaced. Yeah, they got replaced already. But like literally every other corner you go to that had an ATM, it was blown open. Like 40, 50, 60 ATMs all blown open. They was blowing them open so much that in West Kensington on 2nd and Susquehanna, you could fact check that if you like. Right next to, what was it, Sidekicks? Is that called Sidekick Sports Bar? I think so. But anyway, I know the intersection of 2nd and Susquehanna. Somebody was putting dynamite on an ATM, blew up the ATM, and passed away. I don't know. I think there was like a malfunction with whatever explosive he was using. And yep, passed away. He didn't make it. That sucks, you know? You go to the funeral and it's like, yo, so how did, let's just, as an example, let's say that his name was John. So how did John pass away? And then they'll be like, he was trying to rob an ATM and yeah, it backfired. That sucks, man. All right, we're on the block of 6 in Westmoreland. On my right, we have the 500 block. On my left is the 600 block of Westmoreland. This is a tough area right here. Primarily Latins. Black Americans live side by side with the Hispanics of this community. However, it's a predominantly Hispanic community to my right. Now, if you go a handful of blocks to my left, it's gonna start to transition. It's gonna transition over to a higher percentage of Black Americans. All right, right now, we're walking up Glenwood Ave. So the block we're about to approach, back in the day, a lot of the stuff that I talk about is like public domain. Usually I don't bring anything that's not public domain. It's information that's already available on the web. So I'm not saying anything new. But the block that we're about to approach was coined as the #1 hotspot in the city. I didn't make that up. It's on a list. You can find this list. And I believe this list was created in like 2006, 2007. I think it was 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. Back when we got coined Philadelphia. Yeah, sadly enough to say, we got coined Philadelphia instead of Philadelphia. I hear a dirt bike. So we're passing Reese. Those are no outlets on my left. No outlet. Yeah, so this block we're approaching 5th Street right now as we speak was coined the #1 hotspot in the city. Now, it's always been up in the air between this spot, Somerset, and Kensington, and then now Kensington and Allegheny. But, yeah, We're approaching Ontario. We just came off of Glenwood. Now we're approaching Ontario. So this whole little community right here on my right, I came through here in the daytime before. I did all types of tours. I believe I did a walking tour through here before too in the daytime, but that whole 2 blocks was made new. See those houses? That was made new within the last decade. Maybe a little longer, maybe 11 years ago, 12 years ago. But I know they weren't there in the early 2000s because these blocks were vacant. Now, anything can happen at any given time. I'm fully aware of that. And if you walk throughout the city at this time of night, through certain neighborhoods, and you don't think nothing's gonna happen, that's you just being uneducated. But at any point in time, with the way the city's designed and these streets, look, we're next to a fence. We're like caged in. We're in a tight, dense environment. There's nobody out. And the cars come down this way. So a car can pull up right next to us. They could jump out with the whammy and say, run it, run everything. And it's up to you to figure out what you're gonna do. That's why you gotta try to be as alert as possible. There's only so much that you can do. If you got a whammy too, you could, you know, go out in a blaze of gunfire, but who wants to do that? Sometimes, you know, you want to make it home at night. You want to make it home to your family. And I'm gonna put y'all down on something. You know how you have those dreams? Have you ever had a dream where you are fighting and you punching and you feel like you don't have no force? Like you're trying to swing, and no matter how hard you swing, you don't have a force. Like you can't hit the object. You're trying to fight someone, and in your dream, you can't fight them because you just swing in the air. I don't know why. I don't know if y'all ever experienced that. We're passing 3rd in Ontario. There's a block on my right-hand side, literally on my right-hand side. The next block is where it was this younger man. I think he was in his early 20s, maybe early 30s. I don't know, but it's on the news too. He was in his grandma's basement manufacturing explosives. Maybe he was also connected to those explosives that they were using to blow up the ATMs. But he was manufacturing explosives. The screwed up part is, right across the street from a school, they said that he had so much explosive material in his grandma's basement. And she's like, she was on the interview with like with the news, and she's like, I didn't know nothing. Either he did a really good job at hiding it from grandma, or she was the kingpin. She was in on it, you know what I mean? But anyway, they nabbed him. We got some music, we got some 50. Yeah, I don't cry no more, don't to the sky no more, have mercy on. Yeah, that was that 50 Cent joint when he first came out. When he came out, I think he came out with Wankster. I think 50 Cent's like big break debut song was Wankster. All right, we're passing American. This is American in Ontario. This back then too was another notable strip. There's a lot of notable strips around here. See, in Philadelphia, we didn't have gangs. Well, BS. I believe, to my knowledge, even through the mob ties, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, up into the 80s, there was, I guess you can say, gangs. This was a park, but it looks really unmaintained. So back in the day, there was, I guess you can say, gangs, because I've always heard of it, like the Zulu Nation and other sectors, right? But I'm talking in the sense of colors. Like when you're in LA, their gangs are classified by colors. As of from when I was a young person. I'm born in '88. I started roaming the streets in the '90s. I've never recalled colors being a factor. But are there squads? Are there groups of homies? Yes, there are. You understand? So there was always like corners. We're on 2nd Street. Wow, 2nd Street looked completely empty. There was actually an old man who was dragged. He got hit. Somebody in a minivan hit him while he was crossing the street and dragged him and kept going. That's messed up. Yeah, I think he was deaf too. So it sucks because he didn't even hear him coming. You know what I mean? Heartbreaking, heartbreaking. And another 2 people on that block passed away too. I even had a buddy named Esteban who passed away in high school. Well, not high school, shortly after high school. He was in a car accident. Drunk driver hit them head on and on like, what was that? Not CCB more. That Master and American Street. Well, anyway, drunk driver hit him head on, but he was from that block too. Like, if you ever heard of limbo, I didn't even finish telling y'all that dream earlier. I'll tell y'all that dream. But if you ever heard of limbo, what's up, buddy? If you've ever heard of limbo, I don't know if you've heard of it, but limbo is like, they say that if you pass away before your time, that you stay floating around on Earth. Well, wrap your mind around this. We're walking through block after block after block where people have passed away prematurely. You understand? So that's kind of like surreal if you think about it. Could you imagine the spirits walking by me or watching me walk around? You know what I mean? It's deep stuff. Real deep stuff. So right now, we're still walking through Fairhill. What we're trying to do is get to the traditional Kensington, which would be North Kensington, the neighborhood that has the opioid crisis. But what we're gonna do is, we're not gonna focus on the epicenter strip. That's played out, you know what I mean? So we're gonna probably just do the actual neighborhoods. Yo, what's up? To be honest, ma'am, I don't even really know. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we're gonna focus on the actual residential blocks. You know, I like to shine some light on the residential blocks too. Yeah, she was asking me where's the smoke shop at. Excuse me, ma'am, with all due respect, it's about to be 12 a.m. I don't really think there's gonna be any smoke shops open. You know what I mean? Some cases, stuff like that could have been a setup. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is Cramp Elementary School. It's another elementary school, Cramp. I used to play handball in the backyard of Cramp. Oh, we got some police right here. We're gonna make a right here because unfortunately this block plays a role in my life without me wanting it to play a role in my life. My best friend, Walter Scott Rosebarrow III, the one that I have his name tatted on my forehead, he died on this block. He died in his own home. We're about to approach it. Yup. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Ripped me into pieces when I found out that happened to him. He was supposed to fly out to Cali. He had a plane ticket. He was gonna go work on a movie, man. He got killed on a Wednesday and he was supposed to fly out on a Friday. This is the house. Right here. So, you know, what kills me is that they carried his body out of this house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to think about that. It sucks. They carried him out of this house. This is the block that it happened on. This is the block where the 911 call. And the thing that bugs me is that the day he got killed, so he got killed in 2018. That was the year I was vlogging every single day for 365 days straight, no matter what was happening, right? I did a vlog on the day they killed him, right? And that vlog, I think it was 312 vlog. I mean, was it 312? Yeah, I think it was vlog 312. I was only around the corner. I was on like G and Allegheny, right next to K&A, and I was documenting a whole cop scene that was going on there. They had shot a cop and they shut the down for like 12 blocks radius, and there was like 20 cop cars over there. All the attention was a couple blocks away. And little did I know, my buddy was over here and he lost his life. So I came on this block the day I found out, and I parked out here, and I let it all out, man. I let it all out. All right, so let's walk this way. We're gonna walk this way for about another block and then make a left on where we at. Right now we're on, this is Howard, right? Howard Street. On my right is Masher, the next block is Hancock. All right, so we're on Howard. We're gonna walk towards Allegheny and then make a left. I'm gonna walk up Allegheny because there was a young man that just passed away recently. He was riding his skateboard. He was riding up Allegheny, and I was really disappointed when I saw the CCTV footage. A lot of this stuff. What's up, buddy? Yes, sir. TOON 215. TOON 215. All right, buddy. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, he said, you're a YouTuber? What's your channel? So I gave him the channel. So yeah. The thing that made me disappointed about the CCTV footage, we just on my right, this was a PPA lot. Forgot to mention it. Back in the day, like Philadelphia Parking Authority, that lot used to be full of dirt bikes and four-wheelers. Yeah, because they used to impound them and bring them here. I forgot to mention that. There's so many stories. I pass blocks that I can walk by again on a different day and tell you a whole different story. There's so many stories to be told and not enough time to tell them. But what I try to do is tell y'all the basic stuff. I don't know it all, but I know some basic things. Like, for example, I've never eaten here at Olympia, but I know I heard Olympia was popping. Look at new chef, much better food, hiring all positions. Ha! The way they say it, much better food. Yeah, I have a couple buddies that they used to love coming here for breakfast. They would come here and they would get platters of like bacon, egg, cheese, pancakes, sausage, egg, and cheese, and all that stuff. Well, anyway, back to the story that I was telling y'all about. So the thing that made me disappointed about the kid that was on a skateboard who was skateboarding and he got hit by the dirt bike, it happened right here coming up. We're approaching Hope Street. We got a mini market over here on my left. La Avenida. This is Hope Street, 3200 block of Hope Street. I used to hang out there. I had a homie named Puti. I used to hang out there with him. So this is front end Allegheny. We're about 2 blocks away from when the borderline is going to change over to Kensington. We're still in Fairhill, believe it or not, based on the outline of the map. Right here is where the kid that was on a skateboard got hit. So he was skateboarding right there in front of us. He was skateboarding. I think he was coming towards us. He was in the middle of the street right here. And these cameras caught him. That camera right there caught him. And I think one of the convenience stores cameras caught him. So he was right here. I'm across too, just to let you guys know exactly where it happened at. He was right here, right? And I remember in the footage, the dude in the SUV, dude with, all right, so it was a dude on a dirt bike and a dude in an SUV. I think the dude in the SUV was following the dude in the dirt bike. The dude on the dirt bike hit the skateboarder, hit him, and I guess the impact was so hard, I don't know if it killed him on impact, but in the footage, it shows the dirt biker hit him. I think he dropped the bike. I don't know what happened. I think he dropped the bike. So the SUV pulls up behind him, helps him like push the bike to try to get it started. They push it away, they like try to bump start it because it wasn't starting. So they try to bump start it. So the person came out the SUV that was behind him, must have been his homie, helped him push it. Then the dude got back into the SUV and they both drove off. And they left the little 17-year-old youngster there that was just riding his skateboard to die. And he passed away. This happened like less than 2 months ago. I could be wrong. I think 2.5 months ago, maybe 3 months tops. Yeah. The reason why I was disappointed, because I'm like, yo, how do you have no disregard for life? Like, you were in an SUV. It was an accident. It's cool. It was an accident. Pick him up, put him in the SUV, take him to the hospital. Give him a chance. You know what I mean? Give him the benefit of the doubt. Don't just leave him there. Yeah, I was highly disappointed. I was highly disappointed when I saw that footage. You know, I thought when I saw it, what I expected them to do was pick up the bike, help his buddy get the bike, and then I thought they was gonna go to the youngin', pick up the youngin', throw the youngin' in the SUV, and you know what I mean? Even if you don't wanna be connected to it, drop him off in the front of the ER, you know what I mean? And, you know, give him a chance. No, they left him there to die. So that's another one of those horrific true stories that are part of the city. But I don't think it's only this city. I think many cities across the nation, big cities. What I've learned is that when you take a whole bunch of people and you smush them together like in a sardine can, and then you throw different variables and factors into it, like substances, heat is a major player in a lot of the road rage crimes. Substances, telephone devices, people staring at their phone, boom, they hit somebody, they look up, now they're nervous and they keep going. You know what I mean? So it's like, it sucks. So back to my dream. So you know how you could be swinging at something and it feels like you're not doing nothing, right? So I had one of them dreams last night, except I was trying to bust the whammy. We're metaphorically speaking, of course. The pew, 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 21, 21, 21, 21. You know, the little burner, you know what I mean? I was in the dream trying to protect myself, right? And you know how in the dream you're trying to punch and you can't punch? Well, in the dream I was trying to press the trigger and it wasn't being pressed. It wasn't pressing. It was just so hard. It was a really weird dream too. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it was like, it was crazy because in the dream, like I'm trying to actually press it and nothing was happening. Oh yeah, we passed another school. We passed, that's Stetson Elementary School. Yeah, so, and then we'll be approaching, well, if we were to keep on going straight, we would be approaching Elkin. Now, mind you guys, before you guys say, you should have kept going straight, Toon, I got other walks when I kept going straight and I went all the way up to Kensington. So if you want to see that, you can see that on another tour. Everything from riding bikes through here, being on my supermoto, being on my scooter. I've did plenty of tours through all these little areas, through all these side blocks in daytime and nighttime. If you recall, one of the tours I walked up here and I went to, I believe, Westmoreland on my left, and I heard shots in the tour. And in the tour, I'm like, was that gunshots or was that fireworks? But yeah, so in the dream, I'm trying to press the jump, I'm trying to press the trigger, and it was just so hard. So what I did was I thumbed the trigger, and I shot like low body shots. But that was weird. That was a weird dream, because I don't dream about those things often, especially altercations. I don't dream about that stuff. But I don't know, I happened to have one of those dreams last night, so I figured it'd be valuable to tell you guys. Shout out to my guy Oban, that O-B-A-N. He must have just came out of prison. Funny story about Oban is, Oban's nice, he's sharp as far as graffiti wise goes. His hand style is awesome, but he was one of my students. I used to work in a childcare environment, and he was one of the younger ones. He was like a 5th grader when I first met him, like a 5th, or I would say 4th grader. Let's make a right here. He was like a 5th or 4th grader when I had met him, and I remember, I think I told this story once or twice before. Usually there's a whole bunch of cops here. Like when they do raids, you'll see like 7, 8 cop cars parked all right there. But yeah, so I remember going into the bathroom of the school. At the time it was an elementary school, and I went to use the bathroom, and I walked in and he was about to walk out. He was putting away his marker. He had a big old marker. It was a Magnum 44, and if you know markers, then you know that's a big ass marker. That's a fat marker, and it's a strong, it has a distinct scent. Like it's enough to get you fried. Like if you were into huffing, that'd be the marker. But anyway, I walked in, I smelled it, I saw him put away his marker, and I saw his tag on the wall. But I ain't say nothing. Like he looked at me, he gave me like a little nervous look. I'm like, yeah, like in my head, like, nah, it's good, bro. And he walked out, and I ain't never say nothing. And that was when he was beginning. That's when he, like I said, he was like in 5th grade. Now he's a full-grown adult. Sucks to say. He was incarcerated at one point. I think he just came out recently, because I just started seeing his hands as of last week. I just started seeing his hands around Philly again. With that being said, he's actually a really respected young graffiti artist right now. A lot of other graph artists admire his hand styles. So that's pretty cool. All right, we're passing Clearfield. So this neighborhood's another rough area. I know I keep saying that, right? This neighborhood's a rough area. That neighborhood's a rough area. This neighborhood's a rough area. That neighborhood's a rough area. Yeah, these are all rough areas. We're actually approaching the block where my uncle and my cousin died. I have an uncle, rest in peace, Uncle Eddie. And rest in peace to my cousin Miriam. Both of them died in the same house, 6 months apart. Or probably less than that, because he passed away in October. She passed away in, was it March? Was it March? So let me see, October. So let me do the math. October, November, December, January, February. All right, so 6 months. Yeah, 6 month difference. Yeah, not mother. Father and daughter passed away in the same house. First, my uncle went, and then my cousin. She was only, at the time, she was 34. Was she? Yeah, she was 34, right? Hold on. How old am I now? Yeah, she was 34. Yep, she died. It sucks. And I literally walked in and saw her body on the floor under a white sheet. Yeah, it wasn't the only body I seen. And my pop pewed up the body and I saw her face. It was probably like one of the scenes you never want to see in your life. To see somebody you grew up with. We spent Christmases together. We spent holidays, New Year's. We grew up together. You know, throughout our life we had, you know, our differences. But I would have never wished that on her in a million years. And she left a daughter behind, which now my papa's taking care of. But the house is, I'm gonna tell you the house they both died in. House is not the one with the light on over there. The one right next to the one with the light on the right. Yeah, sucks, man. Oh yeah, we're in Kensington. Forgot to mention that to y'all. Once we pass B Street, matter of fact, we're on B Street, so yeah. I guess I'll cross this side so I could be like, I'm fully in Kensington. Say no. Y'all get the point, man. It's actually 12 o'clock right now. Yeah. Before I even left, I was already tired. I was getting sleepy. But I was like, let me just knock this out of the box. Let me walk in the street, because I gotta be aware of my environment. In the street, I'm able to act fast. On the sidewalk, you could get jammed up. But yeah, I saw her. I'm telling you, it was a horrible feeling. Yeah, I don't know what's more horrible. The fact that I had to see her like that, or the fact that she left a daughter behind. I think for me, it's more or less that she left a daughter behind, because her daughter needed her. She needed her. You know, a little girl needs their mother, needs their parents. and she don't have neither parent because the father wasn't there. And then now that my cousin's dead, she's parentless. So she's very fortunate to have my pop. My pop got her into instruments. My pop got her into computers. My pop pretty much raised her since she was a little baby. And always been there like as a shadow guardian. Yeah, let me get out the street. Now when the car comes, you gotta get out the street because they jump out from the car. You know, you kind of need a shield. So I'm already mentally prepared for the worst case. And the bad part about Philly, well, it's probably like this in other cities too. But the bad part is that tint is a very common thing. Tint is so common here. Like many cars have tint, so you know you don't know which car that's pulling up on you is part of, you know, mischief. Yeah, what's crazy is that my uncle, the one I was just talking about, that he passed away first, I literally took a picture with him. I got 2 pictures with him, sitting on the sofa with him the week he passed away. Let me go here because that's how I'll close. The week he passed away, right? I took 2 pictures with him sitting on his couch. And you see him sitting next to me, and my pop looks at the picture, and that's my pop's brother. That's why it's my uncle. And my pop says it. He says in that picture, he was already going out. He was already dead. Yeah. Because the way he looked, like his face looked so like, he basically looked like he wasn't doing well. And I had took pictures with him, and it sucks. I didn't know that he was gonna pass away. And I was trying to get him out. I was trying to get him out here. I put his house up on Marketplace. He wanted to move, and he wanted to pass away in Puerto Rico. Like, he knew that he didn't have much time, but we didn't think that it was gonna happen that fast. We thought that it was gonna take like, you know, 6 months. That he was gonna have like 6, maybe 7 months to actually pass away. No, he passed away the same week. And thing is that I had a buyer ready for his house and everything. I had somebody that wanted to come over to buy his house. And my uncle was a vet. He was a vet. So when he passed away, they gave him the vet memorial. I think they what they do. They do the 21 shot serenade, or however that works. They gave him the shoot. They shot him. They also not shot him, but they gave him the, you know, like the serenade. I think I phrased it the wrong way. They gave him that serenation, and then they put him with the rest of the military vets in like that cemetery with all the little teeny stones. They put the flag on his thing. Like, yeah, it was pretty sad for me, because that was one of my favorite uncles. Sucked. My other favorite uncle, I carried out the house in a body bag when I was 15 years old. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, when we were walking by, hold on. Yeah, when we were walking by, the dude across the street, I guess, even though he saw me with a camera in my hand, he wanted it to be known that he was distributing stuff. So he just kept repeating hard, and so on. So yeah, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. So this block right here is where Rocky walked through. There was a scene here. There was a scene here back in the day because the Rocky house is on our left-hand side. So right now we're going under the Avenue, Kensington. The Rocky block is over there on my left, Tusculum. But I'm not gonna go over there. We're gonna take this southbound. We're on Kensington, gonna take it southbound. Got a bunch of people on the sidewalk. Kensington. So once we cross over, so we're in Kensington, right? Once we cross over Lehigh, if we stay on this side of the street, we'll be in West Kensington. If we cross the street and go over there, we'll be in East Kensington. East Kensington is a bit cleaner, especially when you go more southbound. Same would apply for West Kensington. So we're just gonna cross the street. I'm gonna cut through here. I'm gonna give y'all a bonus. I'm gonna go through like a block or so of East Kensington. So right now we're passing the Cheesesteak Spot. Somebody told me on the video, Toon, you told us about the Cheesesteak Spot, but you didn't point to it. How you gonna do that to us? Well, this is it. This is where they make 2-foot cheesesteaks. 2 footers. 1 foot, 12 inches, 2 feet, 24 inches. They call them the 1-pound cheesesteaks. So I guess it's 1 pound worth of meat, if that's your thing. Onions, cheese, and whatever you like, ketchup and all that stuff. Yeah, for me, I'll be completely honest with you, walking these blocks is kind of repetitious to me because I've been doing them for so long. But I only do it for the new viewers and also to have some content. It's also cool to document it during different periods, you know, different periods, different lighting situations, different weather, different months, different times of the year. Because if you come out through some of these neighborhoods on a 15-degree day in December, it's gonna look a lot different than a 90-degree day in July. So that's why I try to mix it up. And then it's also like different times of the year, so. All right, so I'm gonna make this right on Jasper, 2600 block of Jasper. And it's starting to rain. Oh wow, it's starting to rain, y'all. Oh snap, I feel drizzles. Yo, it's about to start pouring. I hope not. Wait, please. Don't start raining. So we're in East Kensington, and as you'll start to see new houses. This is a brand spanking new house. Yeah, and as we go further southbound in East Kensington, you're gonna see more and more new houses. And you see how this is minutes away from people shooting up right around the corner? Crazy, right? Right around the corner, they're sitting on the ground shooting up. And these people are buying $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses or more in a neighborhood that's 2-3 blocks away from that crisis. Sometimes there be women for hire on these back blocks. I think those 2 women we passed when we first turned the corner, I think they partook in that business. Because you go right on my right, look at new houses, look at brand new. It says for sale. There's a for sale sign on it. We're on Harold. Look at new houses. New houses, you see? But if you go down that block, you'll hit Kensington, right? And that's Kensington Avenue, and that's where the girls hang out at. I'm starting to see more girls out here than normal. Like, before I left, it would be like an occasional 2 or 3 girls. Scattered out too, they wouldn't be in the same spot. The other day I was with Omi and we was driving. We saw like 7 girls on one block. The other block was like 2 or 3. And then at the top of the Ave, meaning after Ontario, we saw a couple more. So during our time out, we probably saw like 11 girls. Not in the best of shape, but we did see a couple. You gotta watch it when cars pull up like this. For me, it's more effective to walk in the street. street, I'll be able to like react a little bit more appropriately. On the sidewalk, you just get jammed up. It's like you get trapped, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys learn some little tricks on how I maneuver in case, you know, you're traveling through a city. Don't ever get caught stuck on the sidewalk. Look at a brand new house. Yeah, don't ever get caught stuck on the sidewalk. It's the worst place you want to get stuck at. Yeah, brand new house. I think that was actually a rehab. It's not brand new, but they rehabilitated it, brought it back to life, and boom. All right, so right now we are behind where the old Kelly's Corner was at. There's a school over here on my left too. We're on Jasper and Sargent. What's that? Henry A. Brown? I think that's the name of the school. So there'll also be women down here on this block too. So this is the back of where Kelly's Corner was at, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all a story. One day, I had picked up my pop. My pop needed a ride to go to Save-A-Lot. So I picked him up. We was coming through here. I saw an Asian man on the block on my right. It's Kensington Ave. There's a dozen or more Asian businesses. So I don't know if he was from there or he lived in one of these houses, because there's also Asians scattered throughout this neighborhood too. So there was a bag of old meats. And I don't even think it was all real meat, because I saw he picked up a pack of sausage. That was one of those plant-based sausages. But it was a warm day. It was like an 85, 90 degree day. So you saw that all the packs of quote unquote meat that was inside the bag. Look at new houses. And if you thought that I was lying about they're making new houses all throughout Kensington, then look at, they turn on the light too to let you know that the light bulb's coming on. Clear out your eyes, because there's new houses all over here. But anyway, so I saw the old Asian man looking through the warm meat. It was on a warm day. It was obviously sitting out there. Didn't look like the best. I only had like $7 on me. I pulled right over. I said, hey buddy, you hungry? I don't think he knew what I was saying. I said, you want money? You want money? I pulled out the money and I gave it to him. And he said, thank you. And that's it. And I left. Look at new houses. This whole entire half a block right here is new. All those houses right there, new. All those houses right there, new. If you go to the next block, you'll hit Kensington High School. On the next block, the Kensington High School. So the Kensington High School, the original Kensington High School, was located in East Kensington. Look at these, new houses. That's why sometimes people come in my comment section and they be trying to like I'm completely open-minded when it comes to constructive criticism. And if you have knowledge to drop, feel free to drop it, because I don't know it all. But sometimes people be trying to school me on my own neighborhood that I've like spent the last 34 years in, that I used to serve in a nonprofit organization for 10 plus years. I served the community. I've worked in the community. That used to be a little garage, a 1-story garage right there. And they sold it and made it into a building. Yeah, but I lived in this community my whole life. And yeah, like I've been paying attention, you know? I don't live in a bubble. I pay attention. And since I used to help people pay their property taxes, you know, I used to have workforce development workshops, resume preparation workshops, city tax payment workshops, like different things to teach people, like resources, community resources for the elderly. Like another new house, right? Jasper and Haggard. I was fully aware of everything that was taking place. Look at a new building. Big old new building. Yeah, I was fully aware of everything that was taking place. You know, oh, look at this EF. I need a little TLC, but look at this, a new house. Look at that. Next to the old ones. I actually got some family that lives on this block. Not close family, probably closer to my pop than they are to me. But yeah, I got some family that lives on this block. Look at this, brand new. It's on Boston Street. This is the 1900 block of Boston Street to our left, 1800 block of Boston to our right. Look at, this is all new. This is a completely brand new building. Look at that, new. That's where the warehouse used to be at. There was a warehouse that had caught fire. California tags. We just passed the car with California tags. So the warehouse caught fire and a firefighter lost his life on my right hand side. This was just a parking lot over here. We're approaching Jasper and York. Jasper and York. We're at the intersection of Jasper and York. That's the 2400 block of Jasper, 1900 block of York. Homie right there was licensed to carry. He had a strap on him. Must have been a security guard or something. New houses next to the old ones. Yeah, must have been like a security guard or something, because he had the vest and he had his firearm on him. And he made sure when I was walking towards him that he turned and put the firearm side towards me. Like, listen, don't try nothing funny. Random guy that's walking around with a camera in the middle of the night. It is. Get out of here! It's 12:30. Yo, it's 12:30, bro. I ain't even know that. Super late. Well, to some people it ain't late. So we just exited East Kensington, and if we come up here, we'll be in West Kensington. I'm gonna show y'all. We got the Rocky Gym up the block, and then from what one of my viewers told me, Stelio's Pizza used to be one of the spots where they shot a scene for the bar scene in the Rocky movie. I never knew that until one of my viewers told me. That was Front Street. So the Blue Line train runs all the way to Front Street. Look, and this is Kensington Library. Let me back up so y'all can see. Biblioteca Kensington Library, located over here in West Kensington. So as you can see, Kensington spans more than what you guys see just on the internet with that one little strip. I think I'm the only one that emphasizes all the different segments or portions of Kensington. There's nobody in the city, especially content creator wise, that breaks down the city like how I do, especially when it comes to the Kensington neighborhood. There's a dude over there with his shirt off talking to the cop. He's on the cop car. There's another cop right here. We're on Howard and Dolphin. We have brand new houses right here in West Kensington. Here we have the paddy wagon right there. And there's another cop over there. The dude had his shirt off and he was just leaning on the cop car. This is the original Hunter Elementary School. Hunter Elementary School. They closed this down many years ago, but at one point it was supposed to be turned into a police station, and I guess that never fell through. Never fell through, guys. So right now we're on Dolphin. Back in the day, remember earlier I talked about not being gangs, but there being clits? Well, there was I guess you could say a local squad here called DSP, Dolphin Street Posse. We're on Dolphin right now. DSP, Dolphin Street Posse, D4W, down for whatever. Look at the love sign, you see that? This is a community garden that the locals maintained. This is West Kensington. As of a few months ago, the whole city value went up, property values. And this was one of the areas that received a big increase in property value. So lots that were valued at 30, 40 grand, doubled up, 60, 70 grand just for an empty lot. Houses that were, 100 grand or so, well, BS, lies. Two-story one would be 100 grand, an older one, but the ones in good shape that were close to 200 grand. They went up another 100 grand. They went up another 80. There's houses that sold on this block right here on my left. There was one that recently sold for $520,000. Yeah, and look at this, 2 new houses all over there. Yeah. Yep, guys, true story. Look at they just made that. That's probably like a $300,000 house right there. 18. What's this? Oh, I'm sorry, 183. You could say that's 183 Dolphin Street, Philadelphia, PA 19133. I'm estimating that being around a $300,000 home. On the next block behind us, the one that we was, so Hunter Elementary School, remember that school I was talking about? There was somebody that I know her, one of her oldest sons was robbed and shot on that block. They shot him in the main artery in his legs. He almost lost his life. He had to get staples and stitches straight up from like his lower ankle to his upper thigh. He was in a wheelchair. He was wheelchair bound for about a year. That happened on the next block. This corner right here used to be popping back in the day. They built a bunch of houses here too on this block. And same thing here. They built a couple new houses on this block. There's a house on this block that went for $380,000 recently. This right here, from what I heard, to my knowledge, was a pizzeria back in the day. That was a front. You used to be able to get your drugs and pizza at the same time. So only certain people who knew. You would go in there, you would order a special thing, and they would give you what you're looking for, and I guess you exchange the payment. Yeah, that's what I was told. And I actually sold my CRX. I had a 1989 CRX SI for about 8 years that I just let go recently. To like, I would say like 2 years ago. I just let it go. Look at new house. Boom. This is West Kensington, mind you. So there was a new house recently that I literally, a new house. That's how you could tell I'm sleepy. There was a new, oh my gosh, there was a CRX that I just let go recently, like 2 years ago. I had it for like 8 years and I rebuilt it. SI, 1989. The dude I sold it to came in a heartbeat. He didn't question no ifs, ands, or buts. So anyway, he brought big cash, big money. Basically, he didn't try to work me down, not 1 cent. He bought it within 10 minutes. And when I got a chance to talk to him, he said, yo, you know, my father used to own that store right in the corner. And I'm like, what, bro? Yo, I heard about your Pop Dukes. I heard about what he had going down. This Chino's right here, Sonny used to own it. There was an Asian dude named Sonny. I don't know if he was Korean or Vietnamese, but his aunt and uncle used to own this, and he used to work it. And he had a Puerto Rican wife, and his kid was half Puerto Rican and half his nationality. I think he was, Vietnamese. Anyway, he knew Spanish. He was Asian, but he knew clear Spanish. And he used to sell weed out of here. So you would go, if you knew him and he knew you, you can buy stuff from him, or he would have a couple young homies out here selling the weed for him. They raided this like twice, but he ended up, I think his uncle sold it, and he ended up opening up a business in Jersey. Look at new houses. Yeah, guys, crazy, eh? Yeah, so many stories. Matter of fact, remember early in the story we were talking about the person who passed away at the ATM? We're actually approaching the ATM where the person passed away at. Goes to show you, right? We're actually approaching the actual ATM where he lost his life at. Rest in peace. But they're building new houses all throughout here. Hey, that's another new house. They just made that within a year. There's somebody upstairs. I see the lights on. Somebody watching TV. And this is the ATM that he passed away at. Right here. It was on the news. And as you can see, they replaced the ATM. There was a little speed shop that was right here. It wasn't open for long, but it was a little warehouse. A nice sized warehouse right here where they knocked down the whole block. And guess what they're gonna make? More houses.